I really wish more bartenders kept diaries. There's so much supposed drama surrounding Ada Coleman and other bartenders. And that's despite all other accounts of her being extremely nice and personable. It was hard to be a woman doing, well, anything in the early 1900s, let alone being the head bartender at the Savoy. Ada spent most of her year at the American bar in the Savoy Hotel in London. She was famously effervescent, and her personality drew patrons to her at the bar, at dinner parties, or simply around town. There weren't a lot of female bartenders at the time, and barmaids were expected to age out in their mid-20s due to marriage or just common decency. Ada started out at the typical retirement age for her gender and would sling drinks into her 50s. She even invented a drink for actor Sir Charles Hawtrey. Meant to be a sweet martini with a bitter touch, it plays well with the Negroni crowd. It's said once he had it, he proclaimed, "This is the real Hanky Panky." Get your head out of the gutter. That meant something completely different in England at the time. He was just referring to black magic. You know, I don't know if she made any other cocktails. The Savoy cocktail book was her successor, Harry Craddock's baby. There's no specific information, but there just seems to have been bad blood between the two. She gave an interview at the end of her career that mentioned her love of experimentation. So it's hard to believe that there was only one winner in her long career. Some think she might have been his mentor, others think he might have pushed her out of her job. Again, no one really knows when they're making history, but just keep a diary. People in the post-capitalist society are gonna want to know the tea. Now, there was another just as popular female bartender during her tenure, Ruth Burgess. She actually started a year earlier, she was just never interviewed. Ruth was often called Bunty, Miss B, or Miss Kitty, while Ada was called Coley. The American bar was only for men, so these nicknames were as much about these ladies' safety as affection. Yeah, it suggested that they hated each other, that for more than 20 years as colleagues, they never exchanged words. The popular theory was that Ruth asked Ada for some of her recipes because patrons kept asking for them, but Ada wouldn't share. There's not a whole lot of evidence to support that idea, though. Of course, one only has to look at Beyonce and Taylor Swift to see people's need to pit women against each other when they're just actively minding their own business. The Savoy closed for renovations in 25, and by 26, they were both out and Harry was king. By most accounts, Ada quit, but she was simply moved to the hotel's flower shop while Ruth left the establishment altogether. It'd be another 95 years before the Savoy would hire another woman to run the bar. Shannon Tabay was also the first American to take up the mantle. Interestingly, she was quickly succeeded by Chelsea Bailey, who also left in short order. Maybe it's still a boys' club after all. Cheers. This episode is brought to you by water. It's delicious, you need it to live, and for whatever reason, Nestle seems to own a lot of it. Drink responsibly.